Is the 9Barista as good as they say it is? They claim that it's as good as a cafe's espresso or some of the larger machines you have at home. We are currently not home because of COVID and all of that, so we figured we would try the 9Barista and see how it compares. We consider bringing our machine down, but it's, I don't know, 20 pounds, lugging all this stuff, hoping things don't get damaged, not worth it. But then we found this, the 9Barista, that claims it can pull an espresso shot as good as a coffee house or your home machines. So we're gonna find out if the 9Barista lives up to its expectation. This is number 386, patent pending. It's a really cool design. It is heavy. I wanna weigh it. Good thing we have a scale. But it's made of solid brass. They claim that there's no moving parts except for one spring inside. So basically it should be able to endure a lifetime. Weighs in at 1650 grams. Came with this heat exchange plate. Came with a legit tamp. Their logo. It's a good weight. We're gonna break down the different components of it and how it works. So there's two handles, and that's what separates the portafilter from the group head. Being the group head, we have a chimney here for the steam, and then this is essentially the boiler, and then there's a little safety valve to release the pressure at the very end. It's easy to separate the portafilter. When it's attached, it's at a 90-degree angle, and when it's completely set in, to unhinge it, you just turn it to that, let's say, 180-degree angle, and then you'll notice that there's two different sizes. So it can only go in this way. It can't go in this way. It has a little plunger. You're basically tamping it upside down, and then you have the beans in there. They will hold their weight, but upside down after the espresso is made, it might fall out. So the plunger is just there to hold it in place, but you don't necessarily need it. And then here's, I'd say, the brains of the operation, the important component. And what really happens is, the water creates steam, comes through here. It starts going through these different coils, or it starts going through the same coil, and it's at that 9 bar of pressure. Maybe that's why it's called 9Barista. And once it gets up to the heat exchange, this cools it down by 7 degrees, from 100 degrees Celsius to 93, and that's the perfect temperature. And you'll hear it when I'm making the espresso. But that perfect temperature of liquid pushes down a valve, and you'll hear it, and then it comes through this little piece right here, and then that's what feeds through the coffee. And then it comes out the top. With some of the other machines, you don't have control of temperature, grind size, or amount. And here you can kind of control all of that except for temperature. So the one thing I was curious about was, could you pull an appropriate shot of 25 to 35 seconds, somewhere in that range, because some of the cheaper machines you get a 10-second extraction, and that's just not enough. The cool thing about this unit is that you can have the water in here, and you can have this ready to go, sitting on your stove while you're doing the tamping, while you're grinding your beans, so you're not wasting time waiting for the water to boil. You're doing these other activities. To separate this, it's just a twist. And here you'll see the inner workings. There's a little line in there, and you're not going to see it. I doubt you're going to see it. But it's going to say, please fill to here. And it's a little over 120 mils that they recommend, but it's 120 mils. And when you're boiling your espresso, afterwards, there's going to be a slight vacuum, so it's going to be really hard to unscrew this. I mean, it is hard to unscrew it because you have the O-rings here creating a really tight seal. This way there's no leaking and no steams coming out of the sides. So you just push this safety valve, and that just releases the pressure quickly. I'm forgetting a huge part of this. We had to get a hand grinder. We went with the Comandante C40. It's been working out phenomenally. And I think it works really well with the 9Barista. So if you're going to do a pair and you're looking for something that does really well, I would totally suggest this. One of the things I like is when you have your beans in here, you literally can just perfectly fit this on top, do an inversion, shake it a little bit, tap out the rest of the grinds that are in the top, and then you basically have a little funnel already built in to this little kit here. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I mean, this is solid construction. It has conical burrs and it's adjustable from the bottom here. So you really do have a lot of flexibility. Right now we have this 10 clicks back from closed, and that's for the coffee that we're using. I would say it's unique for every situation, but this has worked for a couple of the different roasts as a good starting point. Only thing is that it's a workout in the morning having to make your coffee, but is it worth it? Absolutely. We want to have something that we can just pack with us and be ready to go. And this seems pretty reasonable. I mean, it's unreasonable if you don't like coffee, but if you like coffee, this is definitely worth it. All right, let's go make some coffee. And we have our beautiful espresso. I make mochas in the morning and I don't have an espresso cup here, so this is what you're gonna see as my finished product. I have tried it as an espresso alone. I was not expecting it to be as good as it came out. I wasn't sure that this would live up to expectation, but if you're taking a jet engine engineer and he's designing this and he loves coffee, then I guess it means something. Would I recommend 9Barista? Absolutely. It takes a little bit more time than your home, large machines, or going to a cafe. Well, maybe a cafe does take longer. For traveling and everything else, I would totally recommend this. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up, and thank you for watching.